minutes we got left before we chat. Grab your coffee, find your seat. Cowbells are ringing, that's our cue. Gonna share our thoughts with you. Laugh and gossip, spit in tea. Little secrets between you and me. Countdown ticking, let's get real. Heart to heart, it's how we feel. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all those tears. Snap a pic of what we wear. Brush our hair, let down our care. Conversations never lie in this moment with you and I. Clock is ticking, here we go. Words like rivers start to flow. Tune your ears and hear the beat. Girl talks makes our time so sweet. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all our tears. Clock is ticking, here we go. Words like rivers start to flow. Tune your ears and hear the beat. Girl talks makes our time so sweet. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all our tears.
Morning, y'all. It's 5 minutes and 30 seconds before Girl Talk starts, so you have just enough time to grab yourself a cup of coffee and get in a comfy seat. We'll see you soon.
Catch Girl Talks every day. Follow socials, here's the way.
GURLTAUX, every platform come to play. Catch our vibe, don't delay.
Facebook, YouTube streams. Scrolling through your daily memes. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. Keeping it real, it's what we do. So tune in now and join our crew. Lights moving through the screen. Click subscribe, don't be mean. Upbeat chatter, it's our routine. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere Girl Talks can be seen. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. Update stories, laugh and cry. It's Girl Talk, so don't question why. It's the show that you'll adore. Come back daily to get some more. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere Girl Talks can be seen. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX, log in now, watch our show. Likes and comments, let them flow. Every day we're on our way. Girl Talk Show. walking down this road tonight, talking about the things we fight. Addiction knocking at my door. E&T wants so much more. We walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, together we'll move along. Searching for a brighter day, holding tight along the way. Sobriety's a steep climb, D&T winning every time. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along.
It is.
There we go. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. How is everybody doing?
It
Hey,
is
we are here.
Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday that I'm too stupid to be able to function, apparently.
I know. Well, mine fell out. So.
Yeah, we were just literally talking about how our headphones are very easy to put in your ears and know which side they're on, but yet at the same time, like I'm too handicapped to know which ear it actually goes in.
No, it's a we. We are.
I'm like, apparently I'm just not that bright.
Oh, it's weird. All the wires are weird.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But anyway, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah. You went shopping, you said, right?
Well, yeah, not fun shopping.
No.
Water heater shopping.
Water heater, grocery store, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then after I was gone from Lowe's with the water heater, of course, I get a text message a phone call. Well, a text message too, but we need 3 3/4 inch shark bite pieces and a tee. And I was like, what? So then I had to go back to Lowe's and search for these pieces. And look, there was one galvanized. No, it wasn't galvanized. Black iron.
Oh,
one black iron tee in the whole Lowe's. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's the other part that's been really frustrating lately is the lack of stuff.
The supply,
like the
for
supply
things. Yes.
has been really garbaggio.
It has. That's true.
I know every time that Steve has gone to get something from the store, he's like, well, I got this. It's the only one they had. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I know. It's
Like, why
wild.
was it the only one that they had?
I know, like, why is everybody needing this piece right now at the same time that I'm needing it?
Yeah,
It's kind of like,
exactly.
yeah.
I don't understand that, so it's interesting how um the supply chain is not gotten any better, and you would think it would start getting better.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, she's just checking
That's
for
just
sound, make sure we got
Yeah,
we
we're
got
good.
we got noise.
Yeah.
We have sound.
It's there. It's there.
My armrest has that little thing where you can pop these out left or right to, I don't know, give you more room or something. But my left one, every time I put
Oh.
my arm on it, it goes,
Oh.
and I'm like, can you stop? And so it
Oh.
always, I don't know if I've just done it enough time. And this was my husband's chair up in his office.
Oh.
And he,
Maybe he leaned on
and we
it
were,
and
I think so. And we were
weakened it.
transforming it to the guest room, and there was no furniture in there or anything. Just his chair was left in there. We'd already moved the desk over to the shop. And he came down here one day and we're doing some stuff. And I said, do you notice anything? He's looking around. He's like, no, what am I supposed to notice? And I pointed out, and he's like, oh, you stole my chair. I'm like, yeah, I stole your chair. Like, you don't have an office here anymore because he doesn't work at home
Oh,
anymore. So
right.
what's the point of you having a full office?
Right.
Like, we looked at it like we have no guest room, but we have, I mean, technically we sort of have a guest room downstairs because we have Emma's room and it can be used as a guest room downstairs. So we do have a guest room. But so we had an office upstairs, an office down here, and an office out in the shop. Like, do you
Oh.
need 3 offices for 2
No.
people?
Absolutely. No.
Now, when he was working full-time from home, it made sense for him to have an office because the one out in the shop is for my
Right.
business.
Right.
The one here is really for this business.
Right.
So that made sense, and it makes sense to have 2.
Yeah.
But when he was no longer working from home anymore, it really didn't make sense to have a third, just an empty
extra
room,
Yeah.
an empty office that nobody's using.
Nope.
And if I'm working from home in the house, I'm either working in my shop office, which is where I work, or I'm in the studio working on studio stuff, or I'm on the couch with my computer and I just sit on the couch. I don't go in the guest. I never went in the office because there's no TV in there.
Mhm.
We don't have a TV in our guest room, so there's no point to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
For
so
sure.
we keep forgetting to do this. So since hopefully we start getting some new viewers, but my name's Tori and I am the host of Girl Talks. That is Girl Talks, not Girl Toe, just to clarify. Girl Talks, GURLTAUX, and it's because we're going to talks about it.
Talks.
And it was just unique. That's why I came up with the name that way, is to make it unique. And I am an Army veteran. I am also a former first responder, former law enforcement. I was in the Army for 8 years, part National Guard, part Army. Just to clarify for anybody out there that, like, you were in the National Guard too. Yeah, I was. So, and I'm proud of that service. We have children that are in the service and children that are married to people in the service. We have 7 children together, Steve and I, and my husband is also a Marine. And so there you go. That's kind of me in a nutshell. I run an art business and a nonprofit for veterans that is also related to art, and that is who I am. Kimberly, who are you?
Well, I'm over here. I'm Kimberly.
Hi, Kim.
Hey.
Actually, it's Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Don't call her
Yeah,
Kim.
don't call me Kim. That's really like if you want to offend me, or like if you really want to be a see you next Tuesday, you call me Kim and we'll have issues. Or that's how I know that there's issues. But anyway, so we my husband and I and our youngest child live here in Alabama. And our other 3 kids are out of state because they're all adults and they don't live at home anymore. It's kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, you know.
And the 4th one is successfully planning her entrance into adulthood as well, because you raise adults to take care of themselves, not dwell in your basement until they're 43, mad typing behind a screen. But,
Yeah, crazy as that is, you know, between the 2 of us, we have, you know, a football team or whatever, at least a basketball team, and none of them live at home except for the one that's supposed to be.
Right. I know, exactly. Like, it's
I mean,
so
just
weird.
saying.
It's just so weird how that works out. But so we have I have a pet grooming business, and then my husband comes behind and sprays for bugs, and that's what he does. He's a pest control guy, and which he actually really enjoys doing. He was a roughneck for
That's what
years
Steve's
and
brother
years,
does too.
and roughneck is a real hard job to
that
have.
is a
Oil
hard
field
job.
is no joke, and you know, so we were an oil field family for a while, so we have a little bit of experience and all that. And when the rigs would lay down, and you know, EPA garbage that affected our lives, and
Well,
so
and we don't have nearly the amount of knowledge with that, but my son, when he got out of the Marine Corps, he did safety, I think safety and quality control on oil rigs
Mhm.
on land. And then our other son, who's a police officer and in the National Guard, just picked up E6. So proud of you, Garrett. But he worked for quality control and safety out on the rigs out in the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he did that. So that's where my knowledge stops.
Gotcha.
I literally know nothing else about it other than when he would fly out on a helicopter, we'd be like, okay, did he make it okay?
Right.
You know, and he wasn't there like the whole time that he
Mhm.
would go from different ones.
Right.
So
Right.
it was like, and that they all made really good money, but it
yeah.
is hard freaking work.
It's
But that's where
brutal.
my knowledge literally ends. and that one movie. What is that called? Horizon or something?
Yeah.
That's where my knowledge
Gotcha.
ends. I've
Okay.
seen the movie. I know everything about it.
That's so funny.
Because
Oh
there
my
are those
gosh.
people, you know, they've
Oh.
seen the movie.
Yeah. And that's all they,
Now they
that's
can-
all they
now
know.
Now they can tell you all about it.
Or they've acted in a few movies and then they can run a whole country. But that's another topic for another day, folks.
Oh, no, that's going to
But
be part of today's
I guess it
topic.
is kind of part of it. But so we live down here in Alabama. We moved here 10 years ago from Colorado. We miss it every single day. But we moved down here because my young son was diagnosed with cancer, melanoma cancer. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of pediatric oncologists in the nation that dealt with it. So through massive searching and trying to find the best course of action for the entire family that wasn't going to involve constant long distance, or you know, constant travel and staying away
Right.
for long periods of time and long distances and having littles at home. And so we just decided that it would be the best choice to come down here because there was an oncologist down in Birmingham. So that's how we ended up here in Alabama. And me being a longtime pet care provider, wherever we've gone, I just open my own business. I mean, I don't like, I if we have moved somewhere, I will work immediately. Like when we get there, I will work somewhere, you know, for another pet care provider,
Right.
which has only been like 3 or 4 different times. But but then soon after, I'm opening my own business.
Yeah.
Because it's just that way, because
Yeah,
I have to be the fucking boss, and I'm not going to work for other people.
To work
Yeah.
for someone else.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that is possibly a flaw of mine that I have, but it's also not just a flaw of mine because like I can't work for someone. I can't. Like I can take direction, but 90% of the time I end up in an argument with somebody because you're making us look bad because you do more and you work harder and you have ethics and all the things we don't do here. But I've also been in business for you're laughing. I've also been in business for myself for so long, and I've built some really big businesses and built some good businesses. But I've been in business so long for myself that now, like, I think I would end up in jail.
Oh yeah.
If I had to go work for someone,
absolutely.
especially if I had a employer boss that was of the woke mentality, of the current generation mentality, I would end up incarcerated.
Oh, for real.
I don't have
me
enough
too.
bail money
Me too.
to do that.
Yeah. No,
You know,
there's no way.
And the only way I would
Unless-
not end up in jail or having to have bail or incarcerated is because I would do one of these on my way out the door. Like I just wouldn't put up with it.
Yeah. No way.
No.
That's the thing. And and also with me too, to add to that, because I work with live animals. Like, even though I'm like, oh no, shush. I do work with live animals. No, but even though I work with live animals, even though here and even out in my life, like I'm like, woo, like I'm just all
and
but when I'm working with animals, like it's a whole different. It's a zen kind of thing.
I can work with animals.
Like, and
I could even have an animal as my supervisor.
Well, yeah. Oh God. Well, my big black poodle is my supervisor. He lays
I
up
thought
on
it
the
was your
table all
chicken.
day and tells me. Well, the chicken too, but
I
the
thought he was
poodle
the
kind of-
boss.
No, the poodle's been
The
around
poodle's the
longer.
boss?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's really the boss.
Yeah, I
He's
can
the
work with
silent partner.
animals. It's the humans that I have a problem
Yeah,
with.
all day. If I could just, it's like if there was a little slot that they could just stick their dog through with a note attached. This is what we want a Fluffy today.
Yeah, you just need a hitching post with a yeah, when the kids go to kindergarten. And you pin with the big safety pin with their name and their notes and their little lunch bag attached to their shirt.
And there's never any contact with the teacher.
I mean, granted, that was like when we were kids.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that now.
Well, no, because fucking
I think
pins are dangerous.
I think
they can be used as a weapon.
and
They're turning them into shanks.
And the teacher is like, and I'm the parent.
That too. Like,
I make the rules here.
Your mom doesn't need a note.
Your mom doesn't need to come here. In fact, you don't even need to go home ever again.
Exactly.
You can just become my daughter and go home with me, but I'm a boy. And you're not my mom. I am now. You got to kind of wonder about some of this stuff,
No, I know. That's so true. Because I have thought about that.
If I had kids today, compared to when my kids were, 88, 89, and 93, if I had kids today, that many years later, oh my God, that tells you how long it is. But anyway, if I had kids today in 2024, 25, 26 that were high school aged or even elementary school aged, this would become a classroom. Like this would be school 101. This would be the teacher's desks, and you would have your little desks over there, and a few of my friends that are on the same brainwave as me, where they use deductive reasoning skills and shit. Their kids would probably be coming here to do school. Like I would start my own in-home school.
Yeah, for sure.
With other people and school our kids together. Like make a schedule, make a plan, and have, each parent do, like I would want to find the one in my little group that is better at math to teach our math class.
Exactly. Or somebody that is really into like homesteading and doing things like that. Because I also am there's a lot of people that are into homeschooling now, by the way, but I'm really of the belief that, and I've felt this way for a long time, and I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like you can teach your children more when they're at home about real life and the things that they are actually going to
Utilize?
yes. I mean, how many times have you used calculus 2 since high school? I mean, or trig or even algebra 2. Like, how many fucking times in real life have you had to figure out what x to the third power times y to the 10th
when
power?
you said the word
like
calculus 2 and algebra 2, I thought of the word 2. Like I probably used it twice.
like really?
Yeah, and I mean now calculus probably never. Now I will have to say when I was a medic, when I was a paramedic, is probably the biggest time that I used math.
Yes.
And when I owned my construction company, I used a lot of math, but it was like adding, subtracting, and division.
Yes.
Like I didn't use anything else.
No.
I never needed to find what Y was.
Right.
You know, I mean, Y was more like what, you know, because I did gutters on houses. So it's like the Y was, do I need an inside or outside box, you know, on this gutter?
Right.
So I did use a lot of math because I had to, you know, and to this day, like I can look at something and go, that's probably 12'4". And I can get out a tape measure and it'll be pretty darn close to 12'4". It might be 12'3.5", 12'4.2". You know, my husband's like, man, you're good at that. Well, I did it for a while.
Yeah.
You know, so I got really good at knowing exactly what the footage is by look.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not a man and I don't think this is 6 inches. Or I'm sorry, I don't think this is
10 inches.
10 inches. Yeah. Whatever it is. Sorry, guys. We love you. Just kidding.
For sure.
We don't want to alienate our husbands and have them thinking bad things about us. Oh God, what would I do?
No, that's just men in general. I think that's why they invented tape measures because they really do need that visual confirmation that it really is.
Well, they all think their foot is a foot long.
I know, isn't that wild? I'm like, but you wear a 10. That's 10 inches.
That's what it's supposed to mean.
So don't put heel to toe.
Yeah.
Because it's not 12 inches.
I mean, and yes, you can do a walk off of a room. And I mean, I have an 8-ish inch foot, 8 to 9. So you can estimate by the way you walk as to how close it might be.
Yes.
But if you get good at it, you can just visually do it. So anyway, our show today is not about tape measures.
It's not.
But I mean, they are important as well. What I wanted to talk about today is the ridiculousness of and you can see the screen over here. I think you can see it. But I'm gonna share our screen here. You know, I'm still learning this stupid ass thing. Like I don't know where half of the things are, and I don't know how to put us on the screen because all of a sudden it goes away, and I don't know where that part is because there should be something down here that shows how I can put us on the screen with our thing that we're showing, and it's not here now. It was there, now it's gone. I don't know where. So I'm still learning, people. This program is not, in my opinion, as easy as the previous one. But I don't want to go back to the previous one, so I'm just going to be learning this as I go. And there goes my computer. My computer crashes and resets itself like so many times. I think it's because I have way too many things on my computer. So we're just going to look at this without us on the screen. So that's fine. So what we're going to talk about our thoughts on the presidential address. How do we get the left to see that the American people want what our president is doing? That's my question, is why do they not comprehend that we the people voted for this stuff and this is what we want to see happening? We're looking for this to happen. We want him to do these things for us. And it's what he campaigned on, and it's also what we as the American people voted for. You know, I wanted him to come in and clean house. I wanted him to come in and make changes. I wanted him to come in and put an end to this war, this incessant war that keeps happening. I wanted him to come in and make the economy better. Now, I did not expect for him to come in and the economy be all back to normal in like 5 minutes. Did you?
Well,
You
no,
know,
and
I
absolutely nobody should think that anything of that of running a government magnitude can be solved in 5 minutes. Even the executive orders with the swipe of a pen, work went into those to word them correctly, to have them drawn up.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
more than 5 minutes.
Right.
So, like, for anybody to hold any kind of expectations
I
like
mean, when
that
they're
on
going,
anybody.
but the egg prices are still
Yeah,
high.
well, you know what? They're gonna fucking still be high. Suck it
It-
up.
it's gonna
Eggs
take a little
didn't
while.
matter before. You're only worried about eggs
That's
because
what- that's-
they have led you down the egg path on your friggin' idiot box and or on your news outlets that you are focused on. That's what they're telling you to focus on, while over here they're uncovering your money too, left.
Yeah.
This is your money too. This is corruption
not
done
just
with
our
your
money.
money too. So,
And you didn't care about the economy before. You didn't care about why they weren't doing. They had 4 years to fix the
Yes.
problems that they had, and they made them worse.
But gas was cheaper.
But then
when Biden came into office. See, they always leave that part out, but anyway.
but then they're like, but he hasn't done it yet. Let's go back to when your president was president. He still didn't do it.
Yeah,
He never did
we're
it.
still waiting for him
He
to
never
finish.
did it. He never did anything except for
Nothing.
make shit worse.
Yeah.
You know, and then pardoned everyone in his entire family and all these cabinet people. That it's part of the reason why I'm probably not going to have the popular thought. But I'm going to hold that thought for 1 second. Let's go over this real quick. How do we get the left to see that the American people want what our president is doing? And what my concerns were, if you see on this thumbnail here, we have this cute little DJ Daniels who keeps defying the odds. Cancer, that he was diagnosed with a brain cancer like 5 years ago, and he's had umpteen surgeries. His dream is to become a police officer, and Trump made him a Secret Service agent. Got the badge, and it was given to him by the new Secret Service deputy director. And then there's another gentleman here. His name is Jason Hartley, and his whole family, his father, his grandfather, and I think his great grandfather all served in the military. And his father was killed in the line of duty during the Trump assassination attempt, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
In Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
Yep, shielding his family.
And he had applied to go to West Point. He's a senior in high school, and Trump announced that he is accepted to the West Point. My issue with that is the left had the need, let's just say need, to have their little signs. Liar! Save Medicare! You know, and hold up their little signs the whole time. One lady wore a pink jacket that says "We the People," And then they all wore pink in solidarity because all the women are losing our rights. I missed the bus to pick us up to take us back to the become a Stepford wife training camp.
Yeah.
And that was their solidarity. They have the right to do that. I support that. You want to wear all pink, and some of the men were wearing pink ties. Knock yourself out. But you know what? When both of these children,
Mhm.
the high school kid is still a child. He may be an older child.
Mhm.
He may be getting ready to turn 18 soon. The other one is 13. When the child and the other teenagers, both of them teenagers,
Mhm.
were recognized and acknowledged for what they were doing and that they wanted, and the kid wants to be a cop someday. It's his dream. The likelihood of him ever getting there is very slim because he has terminal cancer.
Mhm.
Now he's defied the odds and he's lived 5 years when they said he wouldn't have but 5 months or something like
Mhm.
that. But the left could not even stand up and clap for this kid. Like, that's how deep your hatred is, that Trump could announce, "Hey, we've found all this money by all this bad spending. We've stopped all these payments and we've done all this stuff. And we've found so much money that we're literally going to mail a tax-free check of $1 million to every American because we found so much misuse and you deserve to have your money back." The left would protest it. I mean, even the ones receiving it would protest it.
Yes.
Even if they're like, this won't raise our taxes, it won't raise our deficit. We reduced our deficit first, and then this is what is left over. Even if he did that, the left would be out there with their little signs protesting and saying that Trump is stealing. I have such an issue with it because I don't understand why. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. They can't see the forest through the trees, but it's beyond that.
Mhm.
It's the Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, but it's beyond that. These are the people who will stay in their house when a volcano erupts and there's red lava flowing right down the mountain at their house. And they're like, "But it's my house. I'm not leaving my house." Well, you're going to burn to death in the lava.
But someone else is going to save me.
Oh, okay. One of the other people sitting just like
That's
this
their
next to you.
right. No, whoever they think is gonna, like, that's their whole, like, they're crying about all these supposed cuts to everybody's income and the theft of Social Security when, like, nobody's stealing Granny's Social Security, but
That one
like,
cracks me up the most.
okay. But that's, I really think what it is that of course I just lost my train of thought. That they think somebody's going to come in and save them, because that is what's happened time and time and time again.
True.
So like I'm all for, like, social services as needed,
Right.
not as lifestyle.
Not as wanted, as needed.
Or yeah,
I mean, it goes on that same level of what you were just saying about saving them. When it came to, the fires, and you look at those fires and stuff in California, which I was super devastated about because I'm a Californian, like native born, not transplanted, native born, and so when I saw that, it was heartbreaking. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see that. I've been umpteen times in Malibu, and it's gone. The Palisades are gone. That's devastating. It's sad, but it's because of bureaucracy that it's happened. And when I listened to that fire chief saying that when you make a call to 911, hello 911 operator, what's your emergency? Excuse me, before I give you my emergency, what is your political beliefs?
Yeah.
I need to know before I tell you what my emergency.
We need to establish my pronouns, and you need to get them straight before.
Oh yeah,
before we
let's
can
play
continue.
this out really quick.
No.
Yeah, I'll be the dispatcher. You be the emergency person, I guess. I don't know. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, 911. What's your emergency?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like some bad things are happening, but like I've been traumatized like in the past, and so like I can't really
What's
tell
your
you.
Emergency?
Well, I have to tell you some things before I can tell you some things. Okay.
Do I need to call?
Well, but shh. Okay, so like I'm shaking right now, and so like, can you just tell me, are you woke?
I'm awake right now. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, do you understand? Like, people's do you understand people's
Ma'am, what is
needs?
your emergency?
Well, I need you to understand that I'm not a ma'am,
Oh, okay. Oh,
and you need to understand that.
okay, sir. What is your emergency?
Okay, well, don't talk to me like that, because I feel really offended and that you're judging me.
Do you have an actual emergency?
Well, yeah,
ma'am?
somebody's laying
Sir.
here bleeding, but like we can get to that as soon as I feel safe talking to you about that.
Okay, well, what would you like me to do?
You
need me to send?
I don't
sir,
know,
ma'am.
I don't know.
Sir,
I just don't know.
Ma'am, sir. What do you need me to do at this point in time? Because I have other calls that could come in.
But you're judging, and now you're just gonna turn your back on me and leave me stranded here all unsafe.
Okay, who's bleeding?
Like, I don't even know them.
We need to do more of these because that was hilarious. Yeah, we got to start doing some reenactments.
That's
But look at that. Look at how ridiculous that was. And then I'm listening to this fire chief saying, when we call for somebody, we want the people that show up to help us to look the way we do. No, the fuck I don't. I do not want anyone showing up that's a fat fucking 50-some-odd-year-old woman showing up to my fucking house telling me I'm going to carry you out of this fire. I'm going to be like, bitch, we're going to be giving each other CPR.
That is so
Get the
funny.
fuck out of here. I do not want somebody looking the way I do. And I'm not going to call 911 and go, are you woke? What's your pronouns?
Yeah.
I need a gay man to show up.
Or just to be so self-absorbed with your own, like, just everything about you and your I don't know, but not be able to provide assistance for, like, to not be able to put your own self aside to have compassion for others, such as the leadership showed last night.
Well, exactly.
And this is why we have this problem, because it may not have always been out in everybody's faces, but subliminally and covertly, this conditioning of their mind has been going on for so long that that's why
over
it's
20
beyond
years.
Just a
Right.
derangement syndrome. It's really now like, because it's a state of being now for these people.
It's like when somebody will tell me back in the past, somebody would say, well, like the Islamic, radical Islamic are brainwashed. And I'm like, they're not brainwashed. And I got in a big debate with somebody over the fact I don't believe they're brainwashed. And they're like, well, they are brainwashed. I'm like, no, we're the ones brainwashing them, trying to make them think that they have to live our way.
Yes.
Because theirs is called a belief system.
Yes.
It's a belief. They're not brainwashed. They live in a belief system.
Yes.
And we're trying. And so what they see is that we're trying to brainwash them out of their belief system. Now, that I personally believe needs to happen within their own regions.
Exactly.
If
exactly.
the Muslims need to police their own selves, like not allow the radicals to take over and fight that inner battle, because there is a difference between a radical Islam and an Islam. There's a difference between a white supremacist and a white person.
There is. So
I'm sorry to announce
because I'm
that
really
to you.
starting to feel like there is no like, so I'm trying to like differentiate myself because I am so light skinned. I'm like, I'm not even white, I'm clear.
You scare
So clearly, like every time somebody says clearly, you fucking offend me. Quit using the word clearly because I'm clear. Okay. And it's fucking offensive.
If you say ghost, that offends her too.
Yeah, that too.
You know, you are so white you would scare ghosts out of the closet.
There you go. Exactly. So yeah. But no, it's sorry. I just
No, you're right though. I mean, so you have to police yourself amongst
You do.
your, you know, it's
especially because over there it's culture.
It is. It's
and
a belief
we
system.
Do
it's a
not
culture.
Understand that culture at all.
And I'm not going to lie, that's very similar to Catholics. You know, Catholics versus Christians.
You're right.
Catholics believe a certain way, and it's a belief system.
It is.
Like I
Completely.
have a very confused understanding of that as a Christian who has read the Bible, and I know we have difference of opinions a little bit on the I think
I was raised Roman Catholic.
I think the original Bible might be more accurate, which none of us can see and read.
Well, there's older Bibles older than the King James, and the King James was canonized by the Roman Catholic Church, and that's where I like.
Yeah,
I'm like, so you're all basically preaching what the Catholics said that you could,
but even the Catholics, like they did that. But it has the 10 commandments in there, and it says, "Thou shalt not worship another god before me," but they pray to Mary.
Absolutely.
Like, is that not?
And not only do they
another...
pray to her, but they have a whole rosary with a way that you pray the rosary, and you have to do it that way. And there's literally people that'll go to church daily, and they will do nothing but the rosary in intercession for others. And like they believe that when you die, that other people can pray your soul into heaven. They believe in purgatory. I mean, it's insane. But they also believe that little girls and little boys are just available for everybody's entertainment. So there's that too. And I can speak on that because I was a witness. So
well,
like,
and that's the part that is confusing to someone who was not raised that way. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, which to a lot of people don't understand what that is. And the easiest, best way I can explain it is it's a Jew that believes in Christ, because we follow all the same Judaism type of rules and regulations for the most part. And we just, I mean, Sabbath is Saturday, sundown Friday to Saturday. We don't do anything
which is
man-made.
One of the commandments, by the way, everybody.
Which is technically one of the commandments.
It sure is. And it's a critical one.
And thou shalt not murder, but the Catholic Church would kill the unborn babies and bury them in the backyard of the church because the nuns were getting knocked up. I mean, there is that.
Nothing to see there, folks.
There's
Absolutely
nothing to see.
Nothing.
Move along.
That's why they have that part of the tour behind the Vatican roped off.
Yeah, you cannot.
You can't go strolling down the street because you might trip over a baby bone.
I know that if you go there and you're like, "Can you take me to the baby grave?" They're like, "You need to leave. Be gone with you, Satan." I mean, like, and
so true.
You know, I think they misinterpreted some of the Bible where, you know, you're supposed to marry Jesus for the nuns, and apparently the priests do whatever. But in the Bible, it talks about man and woman and that we are supposed to be together. But then the Catholic Church says, no, we're not. You're married to God.
I know, it's so weird.
I mean, it's...
Well, and they're also within the Catholic religion divided up too.
Right.
Like they're
they are
divided up into different
especially
sects.
now.
between saints. So like there's Saint Dominic, Saint Francis, Saint Thomas, Saint, and so they're all, the churches are named that. Saint
Yeah.
Mary Margaret, Saint this, Saint
Yeah.
that, and then their schools are also named that. And so like I went to St. Dominic's, and I went to St. Dominic's Church, and I was one of the first female altar servers in the Los Angeles Archdiocese. So like I was deep.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, like
So it's-
I was infiltrated into the Catholic Church.
And I
but,
believe, and my
like, it's
my
wild.
personal self, I believe that the Catholic Church is one of the first cults.
oh,
And-
it's still the biggest
And
going.
the biggest cult, and the first major cult, and
That's why
still
that's-
surviving to this
That's
day.
why that
as
scripture in the Bible says the path to destruction is wide.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people on that.
Well, and they it's a belief system. That's
it is.
again, that's
And
I'm
it's
going to
a
reiterate
path.
that it's a belief system.
Yes.
So now what has happened is on this woke side of things,
Mhm.
it has now become a belief system. You know, it started 20 or 30 years ago when they first wanted to do the everybody gets a trophy type
Mhm.
thing, and you can't put anybody down, and you
Mhm.
have to include everybody.
There's no
And-
second place.
and there's no second place, and you can't discipline your kids, you have to put them in timeout. And you know, as those things kept going more and more and more, you know, I'm not saying that abusing your children is the answer, but a good whack, they won't do that shit again.
Yeah, but like that's
now-
not abuse though.
Yeah,
Like
right.
like there is like
Taking the paddle.
yeah, absolutely.
and-
Turning your child over your leg and spanking their butt in a controlled manner,
Yeah, I'm not talking about you
And-
take a whip to them and beat the
Yeah.
living shit out.
or just haul off and whack them every time
And
you
I
get
will say,
upset. or-
even having a secondary opinion, there isn't any.
yeah, no.
There's no comments. It literally has none. So I don't. My husband's sitting here telling me that there's comment. There's no comments.
Oh, there's a ton of comments. I just opened it up.
I don't know. I see no comments. So I guess Kimberly is going to oversee comments right now because I see 0 comments. But so you have a lot of people that are in this mindset and this belief system that we have developed. And you know, you have to do this, you have to discipline your kids this way, and you can't spank them, and you can't do this. I know that when my brother and I got in trouble one time many years ago, and my dad said, "Do you want a spanking or do you want to be grounded?" My brother chose being grounded. I want to be grounded. So he was grounded to his room for a week or something like that. I said, I want a spanking. So my dad took me in my room, put me over his lap, and wacka, wacka, wacka. I got 3 or 4 good smacks on my butt. And then I ran out of my room, and I went to his window going, because I'm not grounded, and he was grounded, and he had to stay in his room for a week. And my
Mhm.
dad was not the type of person. Now my mom, she'd probably forget that she grounded you.
Mhm.
My dad ain't forgetting he grounded you. Not forgetting he grounded you. So I took the win, and I saw that as
Right,
a win.
yeah, for
like I'm
sure.
gonna get my
Get
butt
it over
smacked a
with,
couple
and so I can
times.
go
and
on and yeah.
I'm gonna go play and have a good old time. And you're
Exactly.
stuck in your room.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, so there when you try to say that, how do we get these people to see that we want what the president's doing, is first of all, we have to acknowledge that they're not crazy, they're not woke, they're not this. They have a belief system of wokeness, you know, and it's broken. Like they're
Mhm.
broken because we broke them. And we allowed this to happen, but it didn't happen overnight.
Well, and that's what I was just going to say. Like, how many years has this every single day of, and it's for anybody. Imagine, and it's a choice people make to center themselves around echo chamber influence. And so
It's like
to
that.
make
What's
themselves
that
feel-
called when they get the Stockholm syndrome?
Yes,
Like
yes.
these people have a type of
do.
Stockholm syndrome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you got to think about that. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is all they're ingesting is how evil, how evil, everything evil is on the right. Like
Well, and
that's
I think
how
the catalyst of
all,
it was
it
COVID.
was
Because so many people
were
were
forced to-
alone,
yes.
and all they had was like
Was-
doom scrolling
yes.
for days
Yep.
and weeks. You know, it's supposed to be 2 weeks.
Mhm. Mhm.
So they ended up doom scrolling for 2 weeks. I
Mhm.
mean 2 years.
Or
You know,
4.
or 4 or depending on
Some
some
of
people
them
have
are-
never left.
Right. Some of them are still at home
Some
with
of them
their
are
mask
still
on.
in their basement,
Like-
alone in their basement with their mask on their computer, going, "Trump is a dictator. He is evil, and
What a Nazi!
he's a racist. He's a bigot. He should die." Yeah, I mean, these people are literally
Mhm.
still doing it.
For sure.
And they are, it's almost like the mortification
oh yeah.
of,
yeah.
you know, like when you watch some of these cartoon characters where they get like a radiation or something happens to them and they like morph into this,
Yeah.
evil creature thing. That's what they're doing in their basements. Like they're not showering, they're not bathing. When you're
Surrounded by pizza boxes.
and your mom yells down,
Oh, yeah.
"Are you gonna take a shower today?" Just a minute, Mom. You know,
Well, honey, your ravioli's almost ready.
yeah, and I'll get it in a minute, Mom. You know, honey, you're like 47. It's maybe time for you to get out and get a job, and I mean,
You know I don't like people. Why you always trying to force me? I'm doing an important job down here.
honey, what's your important job that you're doing? Tell me about it. Tell me your important job.
You don't understand, but I'm saving the world. I'm just doing it down here.
Oh, you're gonna save the world. Well, can you come up and eat your raviolis right now?
Is something too hot?
I mean, seriously, we are laughing at it and we're doing
I
these little
know,
skits, which I
but
find to be very funny.
What is cool? I love improv stuff, but
But the reality is, that's who's talking.
it's so
When you
it's
go to
true.
somebody's Facebook or somebody that comments and they say something nasty or whatever, go look at the number of followers or friends that they actually
Yes,
have.
yes.
Go, I before I comment back to somebody, and I don't know if you do this, but I do.
Oh, you go
'cause
stalk them and see
I-
what they're about.
I do a
kind of.
little bit before I comment
usually
back.
I always do too. I
Because-
just go look and see. One of the things I look for is if they're in the country or not.
Well, that
If they're not in the country, then
and I also look to see like if they have any personal pictures of themselves.
that too. But yeah,
I look to see if they're an obvious troll.
Mm-hmm,
If they're not, is it a bot?
mm-hmm.
The other part is if they look and all their socials appear to be like an absolute probably basement dwelling loser
Mhm.
piece of crap that has no one,
Mm-hmm.
I don't comment at all. I will
Mhm.
not respond to that person because what I see when I go and I look at their profile, and I mean, I found one just recently, and I'm gonna be. It's probably sad, and it probably sounds like I'm judging this person, but I did go and I stopped. They said something nasty to me in
Mhm.
response to a comment I had, but they came back like 30 times.
Yeah.
And they commented back to everyone who was
Yeah.
defending me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me go look at this loser. And I went and looked at this loser. The only picture that seems like it's probably their actual picture, their shirt is like dirty with food on it. And it was a picture with their dog. So they did like a dog or whatever, but it
Oh, bless their heart. They liked a dog.
yeah. He probably ate the dog. But
Messed up
anyway.
people can own pets too.
but he looked really unhinged. And then I looked at the stuff he was posting on, and he had hardly any friends. No one that commented on his stuff. All his stuff was unhinged off the fucking chain, unhinged, really hateful towards Trump or any Trump supporter or any MAGA person. And I was like, okay, I'm not responding to this guy because he is that person that will go get a gun and hunt you down and probably come and kill you. It's the one and
Right,
only time
right.
he's willing to come out of the basement
Yeah.
is if you push him to the limits on his comments. And I don't want to be the breaking point comment
Sure.
that gets him out of the basement and
Sure.
comes to hunt my ass down. And
'Cause
he
it
was
can
in the state of
happen.
Alabama.
Oh.
Like it did say that he lived somewhere in Alabama. It was
Okay.
up near the Montgomery area or whatever,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
So it's not like it's like in
Around
my
the
town,
corner, or, yeah, yeah.
but it's certainly closer than California.
Well, for sure. It's within
You know,
driving
so
distance.
I'm like, you know,
Well,
I'm not going to
that one
antagonize.
astronaut that drove states away wearing a diaper to go and
Yeah, to try to kill Trump.
I mean,
Yeah.
or no, it was her own boyfriend, wasn't it, or husband or something? Was,
Oh yeah.
or her side piece or
Yeah,
something like
something
that.
like that.
But yeah, like,
I thought that
people will do that.
I thought that
like,
guy that went in the bushes out by Mar-a-Lago did something similar.
Oh no, he did, huh? He did wear a diaper or whatnot. No, I was thinking about the one that drove like from Texas to Florida.
I know that when
and,
your brain is
like-
unhinged enough that you're like, I think it depends.
Yeah, like,
this
it's
calls for
diaper
a
time.
depends moment. You know, like you might want. Oh, I'm going to tell you. This is your public
Golly.
service announcement for you. If you think of anything you want to go do to harm another person, and your option is to put on a depends so that you can lay in wait long enough for them to come home, maybe you should go seek some help. Okay? You need to go find a therapist to talk to and say, I was contemplating sitting in the bushes in a pair of depends.
In my own shit.
So that I could hopefully find this person and capture them and shoot them or capture them or whatever it is I wanted to do with them. But, you know, the problem is this is now a mindset. This is now a belief system. It is no longer right and wrong, good versus evil. They really have been reprogrammed, not even brainwashed, but fully reprogrammed to believe the shit they're saying. The stuff, I mean, they can see point blank, and I'm going to use this as an example. Elon Musk, I love you all. And Hillary, love you all. Obama, Tim Walz
did it.
Kamala did it. I think hers was more like she just did it. All of those were not Hitler. Only when Elon Musk did it was it a Hitler salute. They can't even see when their own side does something as a comparison. You know, so and I mean, I do really believe there's a conspiracy in the media that they get talking points, because I don't understand how it's all ad lib, it's all on their own, but they all say the exact same words. They all say the exact same phrase. I mean, there's got to be something to that I don't know. I think there's got to be something to the fact that they actually say the exact identical same thing. Like, how is that not a planned endeavor?
Well, isn't it called Operation Monarch?
Yeah, something like that.
No, sorry, Mockingbird.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's documentaries about that, and that's really like it's absolutely true. It's all scripted. It's all handed over for people to recite, and there's very few like journalists out there that are really speaking from their own writing, their own thought process. I mean, and the bigger ones have writers too that contribute to their material, and not everything is original. Some of it sounds clever, but it's on both sides. I mean, because there's people that I think are doing it and
Yep, that was
oh,
me.
hey, that's
Sorry.
weird.
Like
I really enjoy listening to the Five. I really
I do too.
I really enjoy listening to them and all the different perspectives, and all of them are just really brilliant. And the thing about it too, like I've always been, and I don't want to say I'm in the middle, because I'm not really in the middle. I just don't like I've never gone extreme for a political side. So, but so with that being said, like I always make sure that I'm seeing what both sides are saying and being told. So
Right.
and like you said yesterday, you'll watch NBC or CNN's, whatever, just to see
I mean,
like
now granted,
what's well, after
can't
5 or
watch it
10
for
minutes,
more
you're
than
like,
a few
"Okay, I've
minutes.
got enough." Like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm good for another couple weeks."
Because
I
I'm
know.
ready to go
Yeah.
into the screen and like pop somebody's head off. Because
Or even just written things like, the Newsbreak app, you get
Mhm.
all a mixture of all different kinds of
Right.
news, and even the Babylon Bee's thrown in there sometimes to break things apart, which
Yeah.
is fun. But like, if you don't stay balanced like that, you can easily sink down into that
Right. You
slump.
have to have balance, and you have to think outside of that box that we're putting ourselves in. You have to say, like, okay, I think that it's important to see their thoughts and opinions. And sometimes I agree with some of them every now and then. Like, a lot of people are in disagreement with Megyn Kelly because of her comments about the reporters.
Mm.
My husband and I just got into a little short debate about he doesn't think that there should be any press covering politics. And
Like at all,
at
ever?
all. Like that should
Like
be
old school?
like old school.
Like they got elected, did an inauguration, everybody was like, "Oh,
And I'm like,
yay." And then
like,
they went and did their
now
job.
he did understand what I was saying. Is I'm like, we do have to have them, and I'm okay with having the opinion pundits. I'm okay with having the opinion people. I said we're journalism media, and I mean media as in journalist, news reporters, news anchors, newspaper reporters, newspaper article writers, editors. They have lost their way. And what needs to be brought back is ethics. What needs to be brought back is just the facts, ma'am, because that's where we are not at anymore. Is we have forgotten that only my opinion matters. My opinion could be wrong. And you have to be open-minded enough to have a debate with somebody and the possibility that you could be wrong. And the point of a debate is who has the better, more convincing argument, not whether they're right or wrong. It's who has a more convincing argument. And that is what you're supposed to be doing in a debate. When you're supposed to be reporting the news, you're supposed to just be reporting the facts. You're not supposed to give me your fucking opinion. You're supposed to be reading to me,
Yes.
Trump did a address. This is what he said. This is what he did. This is how the crowd responded. When I was a news reporter, I did an article one time, and it was on Memorial Day. And I went out and I did man on the street, and I interviewed all sorts of people about what Memorial Day meant to them. And I went to the skate park and interviewed kids that were off that day and skateboarding. I interviewed people in the furniture store shopping. I went to a car dealership and interviewed some people. I went to the Veterans Memorial and interviewed some people. And then I wrote my article. And 95% of the people that I talked to said, it's a day off of work. I don't have to go to school and I get sales.
Yeah.
So I get to go shopping.
Yeah.
I only mentioned probably like 2 minutes worth about a veteran I talked to that he took this time to think about his buddies he's lost and to honor them and celebrate them. And him and his wife go to the bar and they meet a couple other people at the VFW and they have a drink for him. That was a very small portion. The next day I had, after the news article came out, I had a veteran come into the news station and walk in and just berate me about how I'm a leftist and I don't care about our veterans and how dare I, and your opinion and da 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 da. And he literally poked me in the chest with his finger. You have no idea what it's like to serve this country. And I let him go. I let him go off. I didn't stop him. When he was done, I said, "Are you done, sir?" And he said, "Yeah." And I poked him right back in the chest. And I said, "I served 8 years in the United States Army. I'm married to I was married to a Marine. I have a Marine son. This. And my dad served in the Army. My dad was in Korea, in the Korean War, blah, 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 blah." I said, "But as a reporter, I didn't interject my opinion. My opinion is it's sad that that has become a day about sales and getting your day off school and work, but that's what people see. That was the story was that it's no longer about our soldiers. It's about popping a beer and having a barbecue and getting a day off work and getting a 3-day weekend. That's what it's become. When you talk to people about, hey, what are you doing for Memorial Day? It's I'm going to the lake and I'm going to go, camping and I'm going to go boating and I'm going to take my jet skis and I'm going to make a barbecue. You don't hear people say I'm going to sit down and have a beer for my buddies. You don't hear that. So that was my report on what I observed, what actually happened. Not my opinion about it. Because if it was my opinion, I would have lectured every one of them about what it was about and do they know. Now, I actually did do that. Like the kids, I said, "Do you even know what Memorial Day means, what it's for?" And they literally, one of them said, "I don't know, I think it was about some president that died or something, like maybe Kennedy." And I'm like, "No, it's about all the soldiers who have fought for our freedom in this country." "Oh, damn, that's heavy, dude." And then took off skateboarding, but that's the reality is we don't know what we don't know. And it is not the reporters' jobs to tell us what we should know. Their job is to tell us the facts, tell us the truth, tell us what actually happened, not your opinion of what happened. Like this whole thing with Zelensky and Trump, they're only giving what they feel should have happened. Trump should have just fucking turned over and bent his ass over and said, "How much money do you want, man?" And his name is not Biden, first of all. So what part of that did you ever think Trump was going to do? He was never going to do that. That's not why we elected him. We elected him because he was the type of person that's strong enough to say, "Dude, you ain't getting shit unless there's something we're getting in return."
Well, someone that's just saying no, like Zelensky too, has been conditioned every day
Well,
to be promised money and to be told, "We're going to have your back. We're going to be there. We're going to take care of you. You can rely on the USA." And Trump sees right through that. So, but he wasn't expecting that. And it's the same, same kind of goes for us, is that, we can see through all of the garbage that's happening and say, this is what's really happening. But cognitive dissonance is a really, really tough thing for people. And so I think that they just sound vaccinated
Yeah, I
and
swear
extra
that is like
boosted.
become part of it. That in my mind, I hear some of that. I just saw a meme the other day. I'm going to share these couple memes with everybody real quick. I saw this meme the other day, and I thought it was rather funny, um, because it's exactly what we're talking about right now. Um, uh, let's see which one here. Okay, here it is. So these right here. It says, "Remember when I'd come to the US and remind the president of all the dirt I had on his son and leave with a bundle of money? I miss those days." Um, and I think what it actually meant is remind the president of all the dirt I had on his son and his entire family and his entire cabinet and all these senators and all these other people. Like, I have a whole bunch of dirt on everybody. And then I want to remind people of a few of the things that Zelensky has done. He banned the Ukrainian Orthodox Church and exiled the Ukrainian church leaders. He banned political opposition parties, jailed political opposition leaders, banned members of his own party, jailed members of his own party, banned media who criticized him, jailed members who opposed him, banned all who did not agree with him, and jailed anyone who opposed him in Ukraine. So you talk about Trump being a dictator or whatnot, and the reality is, you know, um, I don't know what just happened to our screen. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. I'm trying to delete and I'm hitting the cut back and forth the cameras, but didn't hit the delete button.
Oh, gotcha.
But I saw this sign that somebody else put: "The weakest men compete with girls, the weakest minds celebrate it." I think that sign can be, and I didn't read that for that, but it can be for the same thing. The weakest people uh, fall for some of the craziest things, and the weakest minds celebrate that. And that is kind of where we're at. Is there's so many weak people that, you posted something yesterday. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Then I posted a comment. I think we talked about it after the show, but I posted a response in defense of what you were saying, or even a clarification of what I felt you were saying.
Right.
And as soon as I did, I broke the barrier of wokeness. I broke the barrier of thought. I broke the barrier of opinions, and other people have now jumped on, and one other lady did. Now there's several other people. But it takes one person to stand up and say, I disagree with you. Remember when I was talking about, I was in New York and I pointed up to the sky and I said, "Oh, do you see it?"
Right.
And then
Yes,
everybody
yes.
started doing it. And it was
Yes.
because of a report that and it was news. I was doing it for a news article. And it took me walking up there saying, "There's nothing up there. You know that there's nothing up." "No, really, there is. Do you see it?" I said, "I'm the one that started it, and there's nothing up there." I literally did this to see how many people would follow it. And then all of a sudden they broke. It was like, oh shit. It was like they were in a trance of belief that there was something they were staring at when there's nothing there. And it's the same substance they're getting out of the Pelosi.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing there.
Nothing.
Why are you following this person? There is
and keeping her there? Like, she has allowed California to. I mean, I know she's been out of being a California leader for a long time, but Newsom is her nephew, so whatever. But
Yeah, so she's like not out of anything.
she's still there. He's just keeping it going. But I mean, she has not, like, that's my whole thing too. And I know this is going to be another unpopular opinion, but like, because everybody loves them so much, but that's because they watch commercials on TV and have never been there. But St. Jude Research Facility.
Oh, I have my own ugly story about St. Jude.
So like, they shouldn't receive any more funding, in my opinion. And the reason being, well, not the reason, but one of several, they've been around since the 60s, and they were developed, or it started to save, to create cures, not just for childhood disease, for cancers, and cancers that adults get. I mean, like, well, but anyway, long story short, it is nothing but a children's research facility, because they don't have mice, they don't have bunnies, they don't have monkeys.
No, they
have
just do
live
research on children.
And so, like, and they are federally funded. They're private funded as well, but they also receive grants from the NIH and from various other world organizations involved in health. And so, like, they have, the return on the investment has been, they have found a cure for sickle cell. And that's it.
Okay.
So
that's it.
In almost 60 years,
like anything
they have
else? Anything
produced one cure. So where is all of this research happening and all of this money going to, like, my son was a patient there, and don't think for a second that, like, they didn't charge our insurance for every dime that they charge for whatever they do, which, I mean, we had private insurance, and so that's fine. I get it. But at the same time, like,
well, like, okay, so I'll, if it's okay, I'll tell my little thing that my experience with St. Jude's was as a writer. I have a book. I have a children's book, and it's a series. I really haven't done anything with it. Slap me. I really should do something physically with it. It's actually a very cute children's book. It's called The Adventures of Cloudy, and it's a talking cloud. And he comes down and he befriends a boy with leukemia in the hospital. And the boy is able to climb aboard the cloud, and the cloud takes him on an adventure to Antarctica to see the whales and the penguins and stuff. And very cute book. And he comes back shortly thereafter. He's getting a bone marrow transplant. He's going to be okay, sort of thing. And so, I don't need you anymore, Cloudy. But here's this other girl. She needs you. And she is supposed to be a orphan. And the whole point of the story is for Cloudy to go to each child and help them not be lonely, and help them to have a friend. And when they no longer, it's like my version of Mary Poppins. I'm here when you, or Nanny McPhee. I'm here when you need me, but when you don't need me, I don't need to be here anymore. I will be gone. And so it's obviously a mystical thing. And all the clouds and everywhere he goes, when he's with Cloudy, they talk. Like the whales were able to talk, and the dolphin, or the penguins were able to talk. All of that. But once you're away from him, you go back to being a regular person. And I did make a connection with somebody from their PR area, where I was going to partner with them on the proceeds from this book to go to St. Jude's. And we were in the negotiation process of it. They had sent me their logo. We were going to sign papers and all this. And I get the contract from them. And the contract was every book after, they would get the proceeds from every single book in the series. And I'm like, but the next one is about a orphan. And then there's one about a kid who loses a parent at war. And then the next one's about heart condition. Like, I want them to go to the appropriate things. Like, St. Jude's doesn't have anything to do with a kid losing his parent to a war.
Right.
You know,
right.
like,
Right.
what does that have to do with you? Like, why should you
Right.
be and that's how the contract was written. And they wanted to have in perpetuity every single and soul. Like, they didn't want any other recipients. And I'm like, that to me, that was greedy and that was selfish and it was grifty. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not how I'm going to do this at all. And I just said no. And they kept coming back like for a while. And I just kept turning them down, you know, like, I'm not going to partner with you, you know, because it would have been beneficial for me to have their name and their logo on my book when I'm out trying to sell it, because then I can promote, and it will be promoted by, I probably would have sold a lot of books because it would have been promoted by them. You know, and the plan was to go and take it down to the hospitals, and like, my book is even in laminate. And the whole point of it is so that kids at a hospital could read the book while they have blood, they throw up, they have bodily fluids. I wanted it to be something that can just be cleaned off and they can go right back to reading the book. And so I still need to do something with it, but that's not the point. The point is that they were grifting, in my opinion, because they wanted everything, not just a little bit. And that's with a lot of these NGOs that are bullshit. But let me tell you about these shrimp that I'm going to train on a treadmill, and I need about $1.5 million for that. And then I'll tell you what they can do on the treadmill. I mean, if you buy that bullshit, I got a bridge somewhere to sell you in this room.
Like, they're so.
I have a portal.
Yes,
I have a
there's
portal.
a portal.
I have a portal. You go in that door right there, and it'll take you to wherever it is you want to go.
I'm like, get me the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's crazy too.
Yeah, it's crazy world.
No, but it's yeah.
Do you have comments that you're seeing on your phone? Because I don't see any comments. Like, Steve said there was a bunch of comments.
There is. It's all Logan.
Oh, so is there anything that actually helps with what we're saying, or?
Well, I don't know why Steve had said, I guess. Oh, that's better. Squirrel. Okay, so Logan said, hey, squirrel in the center. But these are older. Everyone bitches about the tax loopholes that people use. Well, those loopholes were created by politicians because the politicians use them themselves, which is absolutely correct. Like, yeah, it's like they're the ones that are.
They wrote the freaking bills. Like,
they wrote them to, like, with the wording so that they can get out of complying. Not that we have to agree with their belief system, which is true. You can believe what you want, just don't force it on me.
Right.
And then Logan, I searched Girl Talks on YouTube and only Girl Talk shows up, Steve. But the way he spelled it, and then he said he found it. And then Squirrel says explains a lot with the wax. And then Logan, kids today don't know the struggle of stretching on 4 to 5 pairs of whitey tighties to prep for the inevitable lashing. The struggle was real. Oh yeah.
And I think that's where you get to the difference between discipline and abuse.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I completely agree with it should never become abuse, and I don't condone abuse. But there is definitely also a difference between abuse and discipline.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, not every spanking is abuse, and not every abuse is a spanking. You know, I mean, like, you do have to have some rules and regulations in there. You can't beat and hog tie your kids.
Right.
You know, you can't put them in a cage.
Right. Yeah.
You can't lock them down in the basement
or starve them, or put a padlock on your fridge, or like You can't.
I'm fiddling around because I was looking for this stupid thing.
Oh,
Because I thought I don't actually have a Dear Margaret tonight. So
that's okay.
we're going to do the last 5 minutes or so. Oh, this one would be good. We're going to play this. We're not going to play it the way the game is. We're just going to debate about this. And one of us is going to take one stance and the other one's going to take the other stance. And I'm going to take the con and you can take the pro, or either one. Once I read it, you can choose if you want to be pro or con. How's that?
Okay.
And then I'll take the opposite. Is it vain for people to have plastic surgery?
Mm.
You want the pro or the con?
I'll do the so pro, it being vain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, pro it
Yeah.
is vain.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your stand behind why it's vain to get plastic surgery?
Well, okay, it's vain to get it if you're only getting it for cosmetic reasons. There are certain reasons why you would get plastic surgery if you had a severe injury, a burn. My son had to have his ear reconstructed after they removed the tumor that was on his ear. So they took a piece of his rib and grafted skin and did all that and rebuilt his ear. And so, and that was done by a plastic surgeon. Now, could he have gone without it? Yeah. It was our decision when he was 9 and had half his ear cut off to have it reconstructed because I know how mean kids are. And I didn't want to choose to have him go through that. But it was more, it wasn't because it's going to look weird. It was because I didn't want him to be harassed for something that really legitimately was out of his control. So, but
right, you didn't
want
to set him up for bullying.
Right, exactly. But outside of those necessary plastic surgery, outside of that realm, absolutely it's for vanity reasons. And I think because you are what you are, you're born how you're born, you look how you look. And that's the same for that's guaranteed for everybody. So if you're getting plastic surgery, it is only to enhance anything that's on the outside, and the outside's going to turn back to ashes someday.
Well, and my argument to that would be that vanity comes in so many forms. It comes in the fanciness of your car to the fanciness of your house. That's vanity as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen people who live in a squalor of a house but drive a very expensive car because they don't ever let anyone to their house.
True.
So that's a sign of vanity.
True.
Or living in a house that is way beyond your means, and driving a car that's way beyond your means. That can also be vanity. Now, using plastic surgery for, let's take out the medical reasons out of that equation, because we both, I think, have an agreement completely on that part of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you have something that is an obvious, not deformity, because I would say that would fall on that part, but something that really affects your mental health, your psyche, having a breast reduction is still a form of vanity. It's still a form of not necessary surgery, and it just is to make somebody feel better about themselves. So can it be considered vanity having them reduced just as much as it is having them increased? Yeah, it could. Having a facelift can be the same thing. I think where it becomes a severe problem with vanity is the extremes. When you've had 7 facelifts, not 1, when you've had 16 boob jobs, not one, when you've had your face so reconstructed trying to fight aging that you now look like an alien, that's complete vanity.
Mhm.
But if you're just doing it because you want a simple, like I've had this nose my entire life and I've always hated it, is that vanity or is that also helping with their self-esteem? Somebody who's super, super small breasted and they're maybe not in a, they're not a country girl. They don't, they, they dress up, they go do the things, they're a city girl, they're whatever, and they're the people that they work with or compete with are in a different realm. Would that be for vanity or would it be for survival or self worth or a self esteem? So I think there's a balance between vanity and it not being vanity, because I think when you start getting to the extremes of it where you're doing it all the time, you're doing it too much, and you're going beyond your means to do it, I think that's 100% because of vanity. And I do believe that we as a society have also put that on people because of how we judge them based on what they're dressed
Mhm.
at the award shows and what
Mhm.
they're wearing and who they're wearing and how they looked. And I
Mhm.
think that you start seeing a change in that mindset as we're watching people fighting against that vanity part of it. Like, I have so much more respect than I've ever had in my life for Pam Anderson
Mhm.
because she has had her fake boobs reduced down to her normal. She no longer like overdoes the makeup when she goes to an event. Like she wants to be herself.
Mhm.
And you have other celebrities. Once one did it, it's kind of like my comment with your comment. Once one person breaks the barrier and says, I'm not going to succumb to this, others seem to follow.
Mhm.
And but in a general term, like that question was very generalized, is it vain for people to have plastic surgery? And I think the answer to that would be no, in general term, because it can be for medical reasons. It can be for cosmetic reasons. For your son didn't need that.
Mhm.
And my brother had a ear thing where he had surgery when he was a very small child for the same reason. Is it necessary to survive? No. But, same goes for the kids who've gotten cleft palates done.
Mhm.
Is it really more for vanity, or is it for, that's partly vanity, in a essence,
Yeah.
but in a very broad spectrum, very broad term. So I think there's a balance, and that's the biggest part is like anything out there, there needs to be a balance, don't live in a trashed, single wide fallen down trailer that,
Driving an Audi
Draw
convertible.
yeah,
And yeah.
driving some, $160,000 car, and you're like, "Look at me
Yeah.
pimping here,"
Yeah.
and you're pulling up to
And
your tent, like, let's be real. So
exactly.
put your vanity
Exactly.
in its perspective,
Yes. Yes.
and because we all can be vain in some ways.
Mhm.
And, I mean, I would look at when we talk about chickens, because we're getting ready to build a chicken coop, and people that have chickens, and chickens don't give a shit what they're living in. Like, they're not going to be like, I'm sorry, this isn't the Ritz, so I'm not going to egg for you.
Well,
I,
and they're gonna shit all over everything anyway. So it's kind of funny to watch new people get into chickens, and they're like, "So we're gonna have this really pretty coop, and we're gonna have flowers and paint it." And I think the chickens would really like a light green, maybe a lavender color, maybe some yellow walls with like
maybe just
cute
not to
little
be eaten by
windows,
creatures.
and maybe some curtains. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
I got
they're
this.
gonna fucking roost on all of it and shit while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And then when they fly around, the shit's gonna fly, and you're gonna have like
Yeah.
You have fun with that.
Go ahead and do that. And that's exactly where I was going with it. Like, you can go to one of these companies like Carolina
Yes.
Coops. That's really cool. They have some beautiful
They look
chicken
amazing.
coops.
Yeah. And you're going to get your ass deep in debt because that.
And I'm really hoping that comes along with a, my mom said, yeah, you have to hire the chicken wrangler to go with it, because the person that's paying $23,000 for a chicken coop is not cleaning up chicken shit.
No, they're not.
They're
not feeding
ever.
their chickens. They're not busting up ice in buckets.
They're like, so I saw some poop in there the other day, and like, you're gonna have to go clean that up before I go and do my video with my chickens. I'm gonna need you to do that, okay? Do you mind?
Sure.
I know you're off now because like you've already worked all day, but like when I walked by, there was another poop.
And I can't have my viewers seeing that poop on the wall.
Because I'm going to do my video of myself in my beautiful coop with all my chickens who love me. And he's looking at her like, dude, your chickens don't even know who the fuck you are.
You haven't been out here since they hatched.
Yeah.
And they're two.
Yeah. Yeah. You come out here once a day with your camera and you're like, so this is me with my chickens. You see my chickens behind me? Look at them. They love me. So I literally watched a video with the girl. She's like, oh my God, I love my chickens. And she opened the top part of the door to put food in or whatever. She's like, look, they love me so much. And as soon as she put her hand in, they ran away from her.
Oh no.
Like, get the fuck away from there. And I'm like, you should have rehearsed that with your chickens first and told them that they're supposed to come to you, not run away from you.
I love that.
So I was cracking up about it. Anyway, that is our time for the day, guys. We appreciate you being here, and I hope that you will be back tomorrow. Please join us each day for an episode of Girl Talks. And again, we will do Dear Margaret, if you have a Dear Margaret question today, we did not have any. I do have a couple questions, but they really had not enough to relate to what we were talking about tonight. So I just wanted to keep them more relatable. So we'll probably have some Dear Margaret tomorrow. If you have a Dear Margaret question for us that you would like to hear our unbiased, opinion-based answers. And remember, we are not therapists and we don't play one on television either.
We're not professionals. We do not diagnose like I get every day on Facebook.
Yeah. I've been diagnosed.
I don't know why
times.
I pay for therapists when I could just get that shit for free.
Facebook Therapy 101. Yeah. So come and join us, but you can write to Dear...
subscribe, and share also.
Exactly. And if you have a question for Dear Margaret, the email is dearmarge, MARG, at Girl Talks, GURLTAUX. And all of our socials is Girl Talks, GURLTAUX. I almost misspelled it myself. Please remember to come and see us again tomorrow. We'll be here at 7 p.m. Thank you and have a great night. We appreciate you.
Thank you for watching Girl Talks live broadcast, which airs weekdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to send in your Dear Margaret questions. Then join us for our opinion-based answers. We love having you. Thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share with your friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.